Yes, gotcha! Happy Yeti. Alright, on the water. Lovely. No wind, swells down, so didn't even get wet getting out. It is 5:20 according to my sounder. Bit of unexpected bycatch. Nice tailor. Look at that. Now put him back. Schnook, pike, call it what you like. Chewing on my leader. You can be dinner, why not? Well, the GoPro was too slow to start to capture the actual capture, but that's 2 S's down. One nice skippy. Swapped over to a 40-gram jig. Bam, fish. If you'd hold still long enough, I'd pick you up for the camera. There you go. He'll be coming home. I love the skippy. How big was he? 40-ish. Oh, yeah. 35. Another one. I do love catching skippy. They are probably my favourite fish as a total package. I might even go down to the 10-pound spool. Another big skippy.
Yeah, when Brendan and I were out here last time, they were big fellas.
Yeah.
Centimetres.
Yeah, I'd love those. Now it's a question of, do I dare go down to the 10-pound spool? I've got a 10-pound spool there.
I think you're doing what you're doing. Looks like fun.
It is. There's plenty of them down there, sitting on the school again now. It's fish. Oh, gone. Lost him.
Looked like a decent one.
Might have been.
You're right over the reef there, are you?
Just on the edge of it, yeah. It's a good one. So, might not still be a skippy, might be a sambo. Oh.
That's better.
Wish I didn't have 2 rods out.
Wow.
I'd say it's a big skippy because if it was a sambo it'd be running. Oh, and I did set that drag nice and tight. Maybe it's a sambo. It's going to run a little bit. It's a big skippy. Big skippy. Stonker. How's that for a skippy? Yes. Phew. That. Got the jig hanging out of his mouth.
little jig of yours seems to work wonders, doesn't it?
They do like them.
Yeah.
It's a fun way to fish too.
Much more exciting than bait. Well done.
Thank you. Still haven't got my sambo though. Tuesday. What's Tin-Yetti cooking today? Alright, so once again I've failed to catch that sambo that I've been trying to do as a catch and cook, but I'm going to give it a go doing what I was planning to do here with this Skippy. It's a decent sized fillet. It's probably not quite big enough to really show, but we'll see how we go. So a little bit of fish butchery for you. First of all, you'll notice fish have just as much fat as other animals. So you can see that shiny, sort of tanny, whitey sort of colour there. That's all fat. And you'll find that fish in winter will have more of that. Skippy particularly show up a nice thick layer. Yeah, that's delicious. Just like your fat in your other meats, it melts and adds moisture to your fish. As with other meats, you can use different cuts for different things. There are different parts among this fillet that will taste different, behave differently when you cook them. There are better ways to do different things with different parts. So the main one I want to show you, first of all, this damage up here, that's from where I've ikijimi'd it. You can spike from further down, which I should start doing. First of all, I'm just going to take straight along the pin bones. I actually want to separate the two sections of my fillet, because all I'm actually going to cook for you today is this top shoulder. So your top shoulder here is much more like, say, a sirloin if we're talking about steak. Very dense, very directional muscle running up and down there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take off that red meat, and then I'm just going to cut little fat sections like this. So they're, I don't know, centimetre thick. Obviously with a nice big sambo, you get a much bigger piece through there. So now what hopefully you'll be able to see, if the GoPro will focus on it, is the really dense directional fibres of that muscle. They go straight through there. So all we're going to do with that is a quick little sear. So through that fattest piece of the fillet, just taking them off. And then basically from there down, I will use all that for something else. I might just crumb it and fry it because I've got kids and that's how they like to eat their fish. But we'll do these little goujons separately. The other thing you can do, so this is the bottom half of the fillet, belly flap down here, down to the tail. If you've got fussy eaters in your household, most of the strong flavour in fish like Skippy is in that bloodline. So once you've split that fillet down the middle, you'll literally just take off that tiny little bit there, and that'll get rid of most of the fishy, that unpleasant, oily, fishy flavour that people tend to turn their nose up at. You can get rid of that simply by taking that tiny little bit of red meat out. You hardly waste anything out of your product, but you'll get a lot more people willing to eat it. Alright, so surprise, we're back in my barbecue. It's preheated, it's nice and hot. Fish has been sitting out of the fridge for like 20 minutes. Ideally you want it to come up to room temperature. It's still cold. The room's pretty cold at the moment. So my little goujons, my little chunks. All I'm going to do is just drop a little bit of olive oil. Salt. And pepper. I'm actually using white pepper and grinding it quite fine, but that's up to you, whatever you like. And I'm just going to turn that over so it's all nicely coated. And then I'm going to put them on long ways. So if you had a fillet of fish, you'd put it on that way. This is turning it on its side and then just putting them on like that on the hottest part of my grill. Now if you did this inside, or you don't have a char grill section of your barbecue, it'll be fine. You can do it in a pan. I just like to play with my barbecue, so on the barbecue it is. So that's had less than a minute. Barely worth turning the camera off, but you know, you don't want to sit there watching it sizzle for that long. I'm just going to turn them over. So this is a really good option if you're not ready to go full raw with your seafood. If you're not ready to eat it as sashimi, give it a go like this, and then you can work your way up. That one's going to be stuck because he's in the middle. So now, because I've coated it with the oil actually on the fish, it's pretty good, it doesn't stick. And because it's not fully cooked, so it's not into flaking and falling apart yet, I can lift it up with the tongs relatively easily, as long as I'm gentle. So all I'm actually going to do, I'm going to eat mine straight up. I've just got lemon and lime wedges. I'm going to stick it on there. Other times I've done it with sambo and I have stuck it on toast. Fresh sourdough bread, nice bit of butter, straight on the toast, awesome. But you could take this, so I'll give that probably another 20 seconds, the skinny bits are nearly there. You could take this and just sit it on the top of a pasta sauce, for example, and that'd work really well. If you had just a pasta on the bottom, tomato pasta sauce, and then plonk your piece of fish on the top, delicious. Or part of a platter, any number of things. It works really well with Skippy. And these nice winter fish, they've got a good bit of fat in them. They're just delicious. I might even try and make it look pretty for you, like I don't normally. And it's hot. Beautiful. So there it is. Nice char marks on it. If we have a look at the sides, it's probably even a little bit more cooked than I would have ideally liked. It's nice to see a little bit of rawness around the sides there. So all I'm going to do is squeeze some lime on it. You could just stick a cocktail fork in it, sprinkle it with a bit of parsley. Canapes for your next dinner party function. Delicious. That is delicious.
Delicious.
See you next Tuesday, or on the water. So that's not the type of jig you usually catch a squid on. Squid on a micro jig, go figure.